Hey guys, welcome back to the Tough Love Podcast with Dr. John O'Connor. Today's guest, Dr. TJ Abrams, chiropractic physician, pioneer with regards to his technique, style, his desire to learn and improve his skill set and just serve his community. Dr. TJ, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Always a pleasure.
This young man, not to toot his horn, was somebody that impressed me day one, ladies and gentlemen. He came in to shadow with me while he was still in school at University of Bridgeport.
Yep.
And this young man was a hustler, impressive mind, endless energy, and I really knew that he was going to be something special in our field of chiropractic. TJ, out on your own now, associate for 3.5, 4 years, and now your own practice for
That's
almost
right.
a year.
Yeah.
Congratulations, by the way. That's a huge accolade for jump on your own and jump in the water of entrepreneurism and whatnot. Today is about kind of talking about that a little bit. So how's the first year going?
First year is going unbelievable.
Awesome.
You know, every time I come home to my wife, I'm like, I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe I have a full schedule. Like, it's beautiful. I love it.
One of the things that I love seeing for young practitioners now, I'm in, I believe, like 13 states now coaching, and you're one of my earlier clients, is your desire to help others. I have to say, when I saw your clinic and the opportunity you had to come in and take over that clinic in that beautiful, and you're in Seagirt, New Jersey, correct?
Yep.
It was impressive. Now, as I tell people when I'm talking about what I do as a performance coach, you brought in science. You know, you brought in our MedRay soft shockwave and MedRay class 4 laser, and you already were a chiropractic ninja. And that's what it was impressing me with your previous job. I would see you all over social media as the lead chiropractor, and you were already fantastic with your hands. How has that changed your practice up?
Again, unbelievable. It's literally, now that I have something else to offer instead of just, and I'm not saying chiropractic's not enough, but now that we have something else that's going to help patients avoid surgery, number one, it's been a game changer, an absolute game changer.
I love that. Something that I tell my practitioners when they kind of fumble over that is that I consider all of my clients Marvel action heroes, and they already are badass, but we've just added 2 super weapons to their tool belt.
Yeah.
So when people say, what have you done? I say they're optimizing their practice by bringing in state-of-the-art technology. And I think that what that does is, if you look at it like a prize fighter, maybe they just have a good jab and a right hook. Now you have a flurry of combinations you can throw.
Right.
I also think, would you agree that it has expanded your range of practice as far as being able to treat things?
Literally exactly what it is.
Tell us a little bit more about that.
People think chiropractic, they just think adjusting the spine. And obviously you and I know we do a lot more than that. Our education's a lot more than that. But now that we have these tools in our toolbox, we're able to, not only we're able to treat other body parts, but we're able to accelerate the healing just drastically quicker than we would be able to do with just our hands.
I love that. I'm going to keep firing questions at you just so the world can see how bright you are that I already know. But what are some of the fun body parts you like to work on? Not to create some great advertising pieces, but this will be. What blows you away, like the shoulder or the knee or the Achilles? What spots are just unbelievably responsive in a good way to the technology?
So definitely feet, any kind of plantar fasciitis, Achilles. I'm actually treating tibialis posterior right now on one of our patients, and it really is unreal. We have these tools in our toolbox, such as like the Graston and the cupping and all that stuff, but it's just having the shockwave and the laser it's above and beyond anything that we can do, like I said, with our hands. Like, it's really unbelievable. Plantar fasciitis is kind of like we always say, like the wow moments. Like, it really is. You know, I've actually had people referred to me, which I don't think I've told you this yet, but legitimately people have been referred to me strictly for shockwave therapy for their plantar fasciitis. So that's probably number one, like the wow part of the body. Shoulders are great too. Elbows. I'm actually treating 2 elbows right now, a lateral and medial.
Do the patients come to, or are they just sending their elbow?
What?
I'm messing with you.
They could have just sent their elbow. We would have figured it out. Yeah, so really any kind of extremity tendinopathies. I love it.
That's the emphasis I try to explain to people, is that when you talk about accelerating the rate of healing,
yeah.
I had a patient come in today. I know we've talked about this a few weeks ago. Chief complaint was an Achilles tendinopathy, and mentioned 2 surgeries on the left shoulder, 1 on the right, and went to move the shoulder, and it was disgusting. And I said, hey, listen, you know what? Let me just show you what my soft shockwave can do on this arm. I'm going to treat the Achilles. We'll get this under wraps. You're working with RSM. They're fantastic for the physical medicine side. I said, listen, stay with Dr. Jeremy. He's the best, right? Let him do all his corrective therapeutic, his NMR. Let him do the strengthening mode. And then let me kind of run with it with the science. We're just going to supercharge it. That 1-2 punch is going to get you there so fast. I got a text within 10 minutes. And we knew a lot of people who never met this guy before, former athlete at Mom's University. OMG, I can't believe how great my shoulder feels.
It's crazy.
Single treatment.
Yeah.
And, and that's what I try to tell people. I'm like, guys, how many years? 2 years. And again, this is your first year. I've been looking at these things, 20 years later. I'm so excited to work on people this. I'm like a little kid. I get people coming in, right? And sometimes you chuckle, you're like, it's amazing what this stuff can do. What's new in the practice? What do you have coming down the pipeline? I know we talked a little bit about nutrition. I know the one thing that I love seeing, and I wanted to congratulate you on this, is your endless effort. You're like me, you're up early in the morning, you're doing group exercise. You give a shout out to those people that you're involved with, but you're bringing people together for something's near and dear to my heart with regards to like running and fitness. Let's talk about the why. Let's just put a little light on that.
So we have something called My Practice is Essential Spine and Wellness, and our group is called Essential Movement Club. It's not a golf club, it's not a running club, it's not a weightlifting club, it's a movement club. And there's a reason I chose that is because, number one, I like to do stuff. I'm active, I like to ride motorcycles and go snowboarding and all that fun stuff.
We'll leave that there.
Yeah, we will. I enjoy bringing people together to the community. Number one, to build a community, and that's always what I've strived to create, a culture. That word culture is something that I hold near and dear to my heart, and that's what I'm trying to create with the Essential Movement Club, is creating a culture of people still moving. You could be 70 years old and you can also be 20 years old and we'll still move together. You can modify some things or whatnot, but that just goes to show keeping the body moving is exactly what I'm trying to do with this group.
It's funny. I borrowed this line from one of my therapists who used to work for me in that, and I'm sure she borrowed it, is motion is lotion. When we start looking at, I believe it was new, a body at rest will stay at rest and a body in motion will stay in motion. It is so important for us to inspire our community, our colony, our flock of sheep to move, to not be afraid of movement. One of the things that I know I shared with you was the birth of Tough Love was when I was so beat up and burnt out. And one of the reasons I inspired you to move into the technology was I was doing it all myself. And it physically caused me to burn out. I'm getting ready for my pro card now. I can't believe I'm saying that as far as in fitness and bodybuilding. But what blows my mind is that I was 187 pounds.
Holy crap.
And I look back and I get teary-eyed thinking about it. People will walk up and be like, you okay? Like, do you have cancer? And I was rocked. And the one thing that it made me realize, and this was one of the things having a young practitioner, is balance between work, Zen time, family time, which I'm sure, you and your wife are about 2 years married now. That's coming up. I know you guys both come from family, big families and whatnot, and you spend a lot of time with both of them. And that is so critical. And you guys travel a lot. I think skiing, right? You guys do a lot of ski trips and whatnot.
Skiing, snowboarding.
So what's your spin on that? How do you try to balance that? Because for me right now, I see that you definitely work a ton.
Yeah, we say work a ton, but and you can definitely resonate with this. Now that I'm a business owner and it's mine, it doesn't feel like work. You know what I mean? It's just I'm going to my office to do my paperwork and reach out to these patients and do all this stuff. It's just what I got to do. Work to me is, I worked as a server for half my life, dealing with people, serving tables, bringing food. That's hard work. And I always joke around, being a server in a busy restaurant is probably harder work than what we're doing now. But it's not terrible. I balance it by waking, we were texting this morning at 5:30 in the morning. I have to wake up early in the morning, do what I got to do, and then, go to the office. I've been trying to cut down on my Saturday hours. I choose to spend my weekends a little bit more with my wife, my family, all that stuff. But it never feels like work. It's just I got to do what I got to do to get to where I got to get to, and that's it.
I love that. And one of the things, I was at this is more of a mastermind group. It wasn't a coaching group. It was called UAC. I got brought in with another doctor from North Jersey that was friends with Dr. Peter Ferraro.
Yep.
And this was an impressive group of chiropractic physicians by trade, accomplished businessmen. On their board, they were either at 500 million as a collective small group under 100 members, or 650, but whatever it was, even at $500 million, it was an ungodly amount of money. And what was so inspiring to me for a person that's immersed myself in the Andy Elliott's and the different business coaches and the communication pathways is how amazing they were at positioning, vocal tracks, volume, intensity, pace, hand gestures, body movements. I never felt so at home that I was game
I feel like you're the king of this.
What's that?
You're the king of this. You teach me how to do this.
Yeah, and I was so intrigued by it because they could see, they literally were and it's different, right? I look like a bodybuilder now, so when I'm moving, they're it's a little intimidating with those hand movements. They're ducking, and I'm chuckling, and I'm but all kidding aside, what it made me realize, and we were talking the other day about practice stuff, how important it is to constantly evolve and how important it is to constantly put yourself around sharp individuals so that it's like the blades to the stone. You don't get uninspired. You don't get burnt out because you're constantly trying to figure out how to work smarter, not harder.
If you're the smartest man in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Yeah, and that's it. And so let's talk another thing. Your wife, Kelly, does nutrition, right?
Yeah.
I was thinking about you because there was a lot of major business groups that were chiropractic led that do a lot of nutrition. How do you feel, or what do you see with that coming down the pipeline at Essential?
So there's a reason that it's called Essential Spine and Wellness. We named it that. I say
Just in case.
Just in case. We had a little thought in our mind. There's definitely going to be a wellness aspect to my practice, and that is going to very likely be my wife. I mean, I tease her all the time, but she's an absolute genius, and she is so good at what she does. She's unbelievable. And so what we're hopefully going to do in the near future is start to integrate a little bit of either nutritional counseling, blood work, hormone testing, all the stuff that you and I talked about.
Yeah.
There's nothing set in stone yet, but it's definitely on the horizon for sure.
I'm going to tell you, as one of the owners of Boost Hormone Optimization and Anti-Aging Centers, I absolutely love having that opportunity to see people make transformations. I love reading the post comments when people are dropping weight or they're gaining muscle or all the above. So I have to tell you, I mean, I know, for us, a lot of it is pain-based or function-based, but it's amazing from a self-love perspective what it is to see somebody to get to a place they've never been but always wanted to be.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited to see as that evolves and develops, so definitely keep me in the loop on that. Talk to me about the 5-year plan for Dr. TJ. I'm going to push you a little bit here. I'm talking kids, I'm talking a new location, house. And guys, by the way, just to put it in perspective, this is what real life happens. You put this on the power of intention or your visualization board, like The Secret. And when you do this with intention every single day, it becomes a reality.
So 5-year plan, definitely we're going to be expanding. We're kind of already almost at that point where I don't have enough chairs in the waiting room right now, which is, a very good problem to have. So for sure, very likely new facility, bigger, better, nicer. Kids, yes, hopefully soon.
Don't do anything without taking all my equipment out of my storage, please.
Well, now I'll have room for it. Yeah, I always joke around. Everyone's like, when are you having kids? I'm like, you're in my kid right now. This is Essential Spine and Wellness. This is my baby. You're here. This is what But all joking aside, definitely, kids, growing the business for sure. Bringing on different practitioners for sure. Again, nothing set in stone, but 5-year plans, we have a long outline. I could
Awesome.
sit here and talk to you for an hour, but I won't do that.
I love it. What has been, I'll give you a sec to phrase it, but that moment that was the transition? I know when I talked about the integration of cash-based services, do you feel like that's been a big thing that's allowed you to go to the expansion because of the difference between the insurance rat race and then you dictating what your fee schedule is?
Yeah, that was huge. And it was scary. And I told you, I was like, how are you doing this? Again, I'm very grateful for you to be able to coach me through it all. Yeah, it was scary. It was definitely scary. But to answer your question, yes, I for sure think that was a huge reason why I'm able to, even have that thought process of expanding or have that thought process of being able to purchase a home in today's real estate market. I'm very lucky and very fortunate that I've always had you in my back pocket, had Dr. Pete Ferraro in my back pocket. And I feel like I annoy you guys all the time asking you questions, but again, I'm never going to be the smartest man in the room. I probably never will be. And even if I think I am, I'm going to pretend like I'm not. So I can learn something. There's always something to learn.
You know what? What I would tell you is this, I said this earlier on a call today, and I was on the phone with somebody super sharp, like MIT sharp. And I said, my job is much like, and I remember being in history class, and I was probably a freshman or sophomore in high school, was one of the Roosevelts created a brain trust of the smartest people around him. Then, when he spoke, he had relied and consulted with these people, and what he formed together was from the best of the best from all those verticals. And then when he spoke, it was the authority of that confidence. Do you feel like your confidence has just catapulted with, you think it's more the results? Because I think when I came and I watched you use the devices that day we did the training in office, I was so impressed with how you carried yourself, because I look at you guys all like little brothers, right? I've been grinding for, I feel like a vampire, like centuries. I was so impressed with the trust. And I said, listen, you have the first and most important, I've been stuck watching Family Feud, I think the thing that comes up on the board. And I always say in practice, in any type of healthcare, the number one thing to have is trust.
Yeah. Because
if you have trust and they believe in what you're saying, then they're going to jump in. Do you feel like that's been a huge thing, that the people that just love you?
Huge. Yeah. I think that's the thing that has kind of allowed us to say, hey, we have shockwave, we have laser, it's going to do X, Y, and Z. And because I was able to at least help them a little bit, really more than a little bit, I was able to do what the hands can do in our chiropractic field. And they're like, well, if this guy's this good with his hands, I can only imagine what he can do with this. So if we are able to help them a little bit at first, and then they gain your trust, and like, this guy does know what he's doing. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Well, you got that baby face. I have to say, you still look like you're about 22. So
my wrinkles don't say that, but I appreciate you. I joke around all the time because my buddy's father, who I grew up with this kid, and knew me since I was 8 years old, he comes into me, he goes, teach. You know what you're doing, right? It's like, yeah. He's like, well, I just saw you grow up. I don't know if you... But then he jokes around, or he doesn't joke around. He goes, I literally can't believe you. I'm just saying, like, the trust factor. He didn't trust me at first.
But isn't that amazing?
Right, exactly, right. Like, he didn't trust me at first. Then he's like, what did you do? I was like, do you want me to explain it like science-y, or do you want me to just tell you, a little bit of what? And he's like, whatever you did. It was unbelievable. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, I think getting the trust of the patients and, proving yourself to the patient is huge. Yeah.
Name the center again.
Essential Spine and Wellness.
Essential Spine and Wellness is absolutely the place to go in Spring Lake, New Jersey. Dr. TJ Abrams is absolutely amazing. His technology is state of the art. He's got med-ray class 4 laser as well as soft shockwave therapy. This guy is amazing. Doc, thank you so much for joining us today. The fire that you were talking and the love and passion that you have, I can't wait to see what the years have to come. And I'm going to have another podcast with you to talk about that 5-year plan.
Hell yeah.
Thank you so much for joining me today. Guys, thank you again. I hope you found value in today's podcast. We're spinning it around a little bit. This is my profession. As you know, I'm a national performance coach. So happy to see one of my amazing young doctors killing it. Thank you again. Please share, and we'll see you again soon. God bless.